Welcome everyone to the Township Council Workshop meeting Monday, September 18th, 2023. Good evening. This meeting is now called to order. Deacon Cisco, can you lead us in the flag salute, please? Thank you. Mrs. Kraus, can you read the statement of public notice?
Take notice that adequate notice of this meeting has been provided in accordance with NJSA 10:4-8 and NJSA 10:4-10 as follows. A notice of the meeting was prominently posted on the bulletin board at the municipal building located at 225 Main Street, Little Falls, New Jersey on January 5th, 2023. Copy of the notice was mailed to the North Jersey Herald and News and the Record on the same date. Additionally, a copy of the notice was filed in the office of the township clerk on said date. A link and a telephone number to join the meeting virtually can be accessed on the township website at www.lfnj.com. Electronic provisions have been established for the public to participate during the public comment portion of the meeting.
Thank you. Mrs. Kraus, at this time, please call the roll.
Councilmember Patel,
Present.
Councilmember Murphy,
Present.
Councilmember Hablitz,
Present.
Councilmember Vanchery,
Present.
Council President Scoba.
Present. At this time, the mayor is going to do the swearing in of Deacon Joe Cisco, and also Mayor, I think we have some other added guests this evening here with us as well. Mayor?
We do indeed, Council President, but before we get to the actual swearing in of Deacon Joe Cisco here, I'm going to turn it over to our chief, who's going to say a few words, because this is the first time, maybe in the at least recent history of the Little Falls Police Department, that we are going to have a police department chaplain. And here in Little Falls, Deacon Cisco has been our fire department chaplain for as many years as I can recollect, 17 years. But we have not had any chaplain for our police department. And the chief, in many of his new ventures here in town, has come across this idea, and a great idea at that, to have a police department chaplain for the members of our police department. So, Chief.
Thank you, Mayor. So one day, as everything starts, I was reading through our ordinances, and I get to the part where it says police chaplain, and I'm like, oh, what's that? Because in my career, we've never had a police chaplain. So it says that a chaplain of police shall visit the sick, injured, and dying, and minister to the spiritual welfare of the members of the division. He shall be authorized to visit all division officers and to converse with any member of the division. A chaplain shall be treated by members of the division with the courtesy and respect due to his calling. I've attended a lot of training recently. The new catchword in law enforcement is resiliency. And there's 4 pillars to it. So we have our physical, we have the emotional, our social, and our spiritual. All right, all contribute to one's well-being and resiliency. So as I look to institute different programs and projects and policies at the department to look out for our officers' well-being, I thought of, well, what can I do in the spiritual realm? So spirituality is mostly reserved for one's home life, but as a department, if we have it in the ordinance and we can start to get Deacon Joe involved, why not do that? So that's kind of how this all started. And then I thought, well, this will be easy. Let me ask Deacon Joe. Well, apparently you need the bishop to approve this. So I had to write an email to the bishop. He was kind in his response, and it was very timely. And the bishop, along with Vicar Mark, thought that that would be good for our department, good for our community, and good for the officers when they need it. So Deacon Joe is going to be a resource to the department and the officers. If they need to speak to somebody or in times of need, we're gonna make them earn that paycheck, which it's all voluntary. So then, as I looked for people to potentially fill this role, really only one name came to mind at this point, and that was Deacon Joe. I've known Deacon Joe for a number of years. My wife and I were former parishioners at Holy Angels when it was Franciscan. We got to know Deacon Joe, saw him with the fire department, and he's really one that would never shy away or if anybody needed anything, there's no doubt in my mind that he would not make himself available for one of our officers here in the township. So with that, I made the recommendation to the mayor once, of course, I had the bishop and the vicar's approval. And then, we're here tonight to have Deacon Joe sworn in officially as a law enforcement, a police chaplain. So, thank you.
All right, so I'm going to invite our deacon to join me in the front of the room with his wife for his official swearing in. Deacon, it's my honor after 30+ years of knowing you to swear you in this evening as the police department, and addition to being the fire department police chaplain here in town. And I welcome you and I ask you to repeat after me. I, Deacon Joseph Sisko,
I, Deacon Joseph Sisko,
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
support the Constitution of the States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and that I will bear true faith
true faith,
and allegiance to the same and to the governments established
governments established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state,
and the
under the authority of the people,
authority of
so help me God. I do further solemnly swear that I will impartially and justly
the
perform all of the duties of police department chaplain according to the best of my ability. So help me God. Congratulations. Thank you. All right, and this evening, as you heard, we have another number of special guests here joining us. And it's a group who is at literally everything in town. And we appreciate, as a township, every single thing that all of you have done for us. And that is our scouts here in Little Falls. Give a round of applause for them. Most recently, our scouts undertook what was a pretty labor-intensive project. And it was the repainting of our gazebo in Wilmore Park. And they did a tremendous job in refinishing and repainting our gazebo that, after as many years as it's been there, still looks great and still looks brand new. So I want to thank you for all of that and for repainting that. Again, I know you spent a lot of hours there. It was not an easy feat. So thank you for all of your work in doing that. Again, a round of applause for that. So in addition to recognizing our scout leaders this evening, I want to recognize each of our scouts. And I'm going to go through all of their names. I know not every single one of them is here this evening, but I still want to recognize each and every one of them for all of their help. And I want to thank Jacob, Michael, Jonathan, Stephen, Iman, Ronnie, Sam, Christian, Aiden, Elliot, and Sean for everything that they have done in doing this. In addition to Renee Shapiro from the Little Falls ABC, who helped set this up, our Councilwoman Christine Hablitz, and Ron from our DPW for all of their assistance in helping prepare our gazebo for our scouts to paint. So again, thank you, all of you, for everything that you do for us. And most recently, thank you very much for painting our gazebo. We really appreciate it. I'm going to ask all of you to join us up here for a photo along with the council members, so we can officially thank you on social media as well.
Yeah.
Christine had a picture too.
Thank you, Mayor. Have a motion to open the meeting to the public for general matters and agenda items.
So moved.
Moved by Councilwoman Hablitz, second by
Second.
Councilman Vanchery. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed do so by saying nay. The motion carries. Mrs. Kraus. Mrs. Kraus, can you hear us?
One second.
Okay.
Mrs. Kraus, can you hear us?
Yes, can you hear me?
Can you read this? Yes. Can you read the public comment for general matters and agenda items, please?
Sure. Anyone wishing to address the Township Council may do so through the Council President. It is preferred if you give your name and address for the record. Comments are to be limited to 3 minutes. However, if appropriate, you may be granted additional time in the sole discretion of the Council President. Members of the public who have joined the meeting virtually and desire to provide comment shall raise their virtual hand in the Zoom application. The meeting moderator will cue the members of the public that wish to provide comment, and the Council President will recognize them in order. Members of the public who have joined the meeting by calling in must press *6 to mute and unmute themselves and *9 to raise their hand. Members of the public who have joined the meeting via the Zoom application must click the reactions icon and then the raise hand icon. Once the process is complete, we will return to the regular order of business.
Thank you. Is there anyone in the council chambers that'd like to approach us?
Yes, I'm Al Kawadi. I live on Morningside Circle. I just wanted to mention because Mr. Dolan had to step out to take pictures with the Scouts. The Scouts appreciation to the council president. A couple weeks ago, it turned out that the Cub Scouts were losing the venue where they have been holding their meetings for the past few years. And so council president connected the Cub Scouts and Mr. Dolan with the folks at St. Agnes. And thanks to your efforts, they did not have to miss any meetings this year. And so appreciate what you did. Thank you very much.
Thank you. There's nothing like young individuals getting involved with good civic organizations such as Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts. So that's good to see. We're always here to help. I'm glad that worked out well. Mr. Kusia, is there anyone in Zoom that wants to speak to us tonight?
No, sir, not at this time.
See nobody else. Can I have a motion to close the public comment?
So move.
Moved by Councilman Murphy, second by Councilman Vanchery. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Mayor, 1 through 7.
Thank you, Council President. And before I get to my official items on my agenda this evening, I would like to wish a happy Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur to all of our Jewish residents here in town. Happy New Year to all that celebrate. We are now a little bit more than a week and a half into the school year, and I have heard great things from our schools about the students, about how they are transitioning from one year to the next. And I hope all of our students in the upcoming school year continue to have a great and successful year. Last but not least, before the official agenda items, is just a quick update on the streetscape. As you may have noticed, more of the lights have gone in the middle of our downtown portion of our streetscape. Unfortunately, while they have wires that are run to them, and while they are essentially prepared to be lit up, there is still no power coming to the lights from the poles and the electric wires themselves, which is really the last and final step before they can be lit up. And I continue to have discussions with PSE&G in the hopes that by this holiday season, we will be able to light up some wreaths along Main Street so that we can have a more festive downtown than we've ever had before. I'm also having discussions with our DPW about adding different types of little trees and bushes to our planters along Main Street, which I also hope we'll be able to light up for the holidays. Hoping to have the most festive downtown that Little Falls has seen in its history here this year. So we are looking to accomplish that, especially with our light parade that we'll be having this year coming through town. So looking very much forward to continuing to move along with keeping our downtown beautified, and especially with the new streetscape that we have there. Are there any questions with respect to those?
Mayor, I don't have a question on this, but do you have any information regarding the cell tower situation? Seems that we've been getting some phone calls from residents that are not getting
I do
calls from
indeed.
Verizon, or if the staff can.
I do indeed. This has been a long going, I'll call it battle with Verizon. In fact, I think one of the most adversely affected areas in town is between Union and Route 23, sort of north and west of that, so the Donato area, the area down by Parkway, and that entire section of town. And this has to do with upgrades to their cell towers. And I've spoken to Verizon about this issue. Unfortunately, one of the comments I got was sometimes we have to take one step backwards to take two steps forwards. And I responded by saying in 2023, there's no way that people should not have any cell service at all. That is not a step backwards. A step backwards is slower internet connection on your cell phone, but having no connection whatsoever when you need to make a call is creating some major problems. They have identified the issue. It's a cell tower in Totowa that they are working on upgrading. I don't know how soon, but hopefully soon they are able to make the necessary repairs to that cell tower so that we again have a full service here in Little Falls. They do continue to, they're very well aware of the issue. In fact, the rep that I talked to lives in Sussex County, and he told me that by his house, he is now having the exact same issues that we are having here as part of Verizon's massive upgrade. So residents that do have Verizon, they are aware, they are working on it. Not fast enough for any of us that have Verizon here in town, but hopefully, fingers crossed, in the very near future, we will have better reception in this area of town again.
Thank you.
And Council President, while I am still going, I also wanted to let everybody know, I know I've got a number of questions about Long Hill Road and when it's going to be repaved. We're actually going to be having a pre-con meeting with the water company and their contractor very soon to discuss the repaving of Long Hill Road. But people should be aware that what we do require is a 90-day waiting period before we're allowed to resurface any roads in Little Falls after work has been done. And the reason we wait 90 days is because you may have noticed that some of the trenches actually start with small mounds of asphalt in them as they are poured the very first day. And over the next couple of months, you actually see those mounds turn into indents in the ground, and they're actually sunken into the ground. And that's because as much as they attempt to compact all of the backfill that they put into the trenches, unfortunately, the ground continues to settle for a period of time, which is why we wait these 90 days, because what we don't want to do is pave a road and within a a couple of months or a year or two, have areas of it that are sunken in that we'll have to deal with for 20 or 30 years before it's repaved again. Amazingly for us here in Little Falls, the timing, I hope, is going to line up perfectly as long as the weather cooperates. That the last work was actually done in Little Falls on August 9th. It was the last day that they had any machines out working on any of the holes here. And 3 months from that is November 9th, which is actually a Thursday, which is when teachers' convention is in. So school will not be in session on that Thursday and Friday, November 9th and 10th. We are targeting repaving Long Hill Road on the 9th and 10th. They'll be milling one day and paving the next. So fingers crossed the weather will cooperate and we'll be able to get that completed while schools are not in session, because when schools are in session and school 2 is open, it becomes a major strategic nightmare in order to do something like that and close Long Hill Road. So those are the days that are being targeted right now. I know those 90 days can't come soon enough for a lot of residents who traverse that street every single day. But those are the dates that are being targeted so that everybody's on the same page. I know some people have called New Jersey American Water and have been told that as recently or as soon as this upcoming week, the road's going to be repaved. I think they only know about the meeting that's going to be happening with New Jersey American Water, not the actual schedule. So the actual schedule right now is targeting November 9th and 10th for that work to be completed.
Mayor, there's another concern. The county has gone out to bid on a bridge that goes over the Peckman. Do you have any information regarding that, where they stand?
Sure. Yeah, the county has spent quite a bit of money on the bridge over the Peckman that would connect really the Wilmore and Cedar Grove Road sides of the Mars Canal path. They've gone out 2 times to bid for that. Both of those bids had to be rejected because they did not meet the federal standards. There's a large federal grant that the county received to the tune of about $1 million. And because the bidders were unable to meet the specs required by the federal government, the bids had to be rejected. In speaking with the county, they have advised they are going to be going out to bid one more time on this bridge. But if this one has to be rejected as well, they're uncertain if they're going to continue going out to bid because of the extreme costs associated with going out to bid and having the engineers prepare each one of those packages. So again, I know there were a lot of people who were in favor and supporting this bridge. I know a number of others who were opposed to the idea of the bridge over this body of water. But again, right now, the county is going out to bid for an additional time with the hopes that they receive a bidder who is qualified to perform the work. If not, I guess they'll have to decide then if they continue to try to move this project forward or not.
Thank you, Mayor.
You bet. All right, on to the report on the agenda. I am going to lump together items number 1, 2, 3, 4 as all one sort of discussion. These are agenda items that we frequently see on the agenda. In fact, throughout the course of the year, oftentimes there are tax appeals that result in refunds. There are veterans who are 100% disabled who qualify for their cancellation of taxes. And those 4 items are all related to those exact things. Some of them are nominal dollar amounts, and some of them are more, I would almost call them standard, unfortunately, larger dollar amount refunds that are owed as a result of cancellations and county board judgments. So those are items 1 through 4. Are there any questions from the council regarding those? All right, seeing none, item number 5 on the agenda is a resolution authorizing the affordability assistance grant with renters of affordable housing units. This is something that we may in the future begin putting on the agenda if council president chooses, or may not be putting for constant discussion on the agenda, because what this is individuals who qualify for the affordable housing assistance programs. Each one of them individually is required to have a resolution approved for their qualification into this program. So we will be seeing a number of these over the next handful of years in accordance with the Mount Laurel doctrine and the affordable assistance programs that every town is now required to provide to individuals when there are buildings that require it. So we will be seeing a number of these over the next handful of years, frankly, maybe in perpetuity, as individuals qualify each time one may leave or a new unit may become available. So we will see these resolutions moving forward on a regular basis for individuals who do qualify for this program. Are there any questions of the council with respect to number 5? All right, seeing none. Item number 6 is a resolution canceling grant balances and capital ordinance balances. And these are prior and previously approved funding sources that we have approved here in Little Falls for various projects. So for example, there may have been $500,000 appropriated to complete a project in town. I'll use a park as an example. And if that project only ended up costing $430,000, this council previously approved funding for up to $500,000. But on that example, there would have been a $70,000 amount of debt that was approved that now needs to be canceled. So this is a housekeeping sort of ordinance that is going to cancel the ordinance balances that have been unused over a period of time. And this information is received by the township as a result of audits and our business administrators working in conjunction with our township auditor to determine which grant balances and capital ordinances can be canceled. So that is that list that is on the agenda this evening. Are there any questions with respect to item number 6 from the council? All right, seeing none. The very last is ordinance 1470, the deployment of safety sticks in the township. This is not really new news or information to this council or most people in the municipality, that there are safety sticks in various locations throughout the municipality for individuals who park within 25 feet of a crosswalk, which is a violation. And this was a big initiative because, well, one of my pet peeves, I know our police chief's pet peeve, and really should be everyone's pet peeve, is individuals not stopping for others in crosswalks as they enter the street. And in order to maximize the visibility, having safety sticks in areas where people tend to park within 25 feet of a crosswalk, it gives us the ability to have eyes there 24/7, 365. This ordinance will essentially memorialize the safety sticks that we have already deployed throughout the town, as well as those that we may add over the next number of years throughout the town to allow our police department to continue to best enforce parking violations of those who are making it difficult for our drivers to see those parked or to see pedestrians who are entering the roadway because of vehicles that are illegally parked. This again essentially memorializes that. And are there any questions from the council with respect to this?
Council President, I was just gonna say,
Through the floor, Councilman Vanchery.
thanks. With the sticks, they've been a nice addition, chief. I can tell you, being down at the rec center probably every night, for something with the kids, anytime someone pulls up near the crosswalk, you will get at least 2 parents that run over to that person, move your car, don't park there, you're blocking a crosswalk, you're gonna get a ticket. So people have taken to what you've put in place, and there's 4 right now, looking forward to more, but it has been effective because people now realize not to park there and make sure it's safe for everybody crossing. So appreciate that.
Council President, that rounds out my my items unless there's any questions from the council.
So are there any questions from council? I would like to just comment on number 6. It feels really good to see this occurring. It definitely helps the council and the governing body with the balance sheet moving forward. I think it was a number of years. I would feel that if I could use a football analogy, that we were kind of like behind a 10-yard line. I feel like now we have some movement, mayor and council, to not relax. There's always more to do, but at least have some good financial stability. So I appreciate staff and the mayor and the council. I'm looking forward to working. Hopefully I'm on the finance budget again next year to go over the numbers, and hopefully we could even improve on that greater. Have a motion to approve the resolutions A through J.
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Vanchery, second by Councilman Murphy. This is a roll call, A through J. Mrs. Kraus.
Councilmember Patel,
Yes.
Councilmember Murphy,
Yes.
Councilmember Hablitz,
Yes.
Councilmember Vanchery,
Yes.
Council President Scoba.
Yes, Ms. Kraus, read ordinance 1470, please.
Introduction of ordinance number 1470, an ordinance entitled Ordinance of the Township Council of the Township of Little Falls in the County of Passaic, State of New Jersey, to amend Chapter 7 on street regulations of the Code of the Township of Little Falls, with a second reading and public hearing scheduled for October 16th, 2023.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to introduce 1470?
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Vanchery, second by Councilwoman Hablitz. This is a roll call. Please call the roll for 1470.
Councilmember Patel,
Yes.
Councilmember Murphy,
Yes.
Councilmember Hablitz,
Yes.
Councilmember Vanchery,
Yes.
Council President Scoba.
Yes. Can I have a motion to approve the following request from the Little Falls PBA to hold its annual Oktoberfest? Can you please read that, Mrs. Kraus?
Request from Little Falls PBA Local Number 346, Inc. for permission to hold its annual Oktoberfest Food Truck Festival on Saturday, October 7th, 2023 on Walnut Street, Union Avenue, and Railroad Avenue, as well as utilizing the Barbara Sabattieri Park between the hours of 12 PM and 7 PM.
Thank you. Can I have a motion?
So move.
Moved by Councilman Murphy, second by Councilman Vanchery. This is a roll call. Please call the roll.
Councilmember Patel,
Yes.
Councilmember Murphy,
Yes.
Councilmember Havelitz,
Yes.
Councilmember Vanchery,
Yes.
Council President Scoba.
Yes. Councilmember Havelitz, your report.
Thank you, Council President. So I would once again like to just thank the Boy Scouts for all that they did with the gazebo. It was great work. It was hours in the hot sun, 90-degree days for 3 different Wednesday evenings. And they did an excellent job. So I really would like to thank them for what they did. Also, I'd like to say a blessed Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur to our Jewish residents. A Happy New Year. As far as my library report, there is a new program starting up at the library. It is a Halloween costume exchange. So every Saturday in October, you can exchange a costume for children ages infant to 5T. There will be a collection starting on Monday, the 25th. You can drop off your gently used Halloween costume, and every Saturday in October, you can go and pick up a gently used one. You know, children grow quickly. They get one use out of a Halloween costume, and there's certainly going to be some nice ones, I'm sure. The library is having a Mario Kart tournament this Friday, the 22nd at 5:30 PM for all those gamers out there. You must be in the 6th grade and up, and you must register on the website. Good news, the Business Association has been trying to get this back together for a while. Little Falls is going to be hosting a health and wellness fair for the businesses in Little Falls. This was a collaboration between the library and the Business Association. I know Raphael, one of our businesses from AIM Orthopedics, he was instrumental in this, reaching out to the library. He's been trying to get this back together for a few years. It was hosted initially by Little Falls Biz a few years ago. And so he reached out to the library to see if they can get this going again. There will be screenings, and it will be on September 28th from 6 to 8 PM. We also have Councilwoman Patel, who has been instrumental with our health department and has more information for other health-related services. But this is really just another added layer of bringing our community together for health and wellness. The market's going well. This Sunday is Alpaca Day at the market. So we're bringing those fluffy alpacas back. You can come down, pet some friendly alpacas, as well as come here. Our local band, Your Mom's Hot. It is someone who was at the concerts this year. He is local to Little Falls and has a great following. So come down and hear them. Enjoy all of your fresh fall produce and artisan vendors. The market will be going until October 29th. And lastly, don't forget to sign up for the townwide garage sale. The yard sale will take place on September 30th with a rain date of October 1st. You can sign up at Community Pass or call Tyler Pissarro at the Rec Center if you have any problems with that. That's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Murphy.
Thank you, Council President. Just like to say congrats to Deacon Joe Cisco. I had the pleasure of working with Deacon Joe on the fire department side for 2011 when I joined the fire department. He's been tremendous. The fire department has been a great line of support, and he's always been there for us. So I know he's going to do the same, Chief, for the police department as well. So definitely congratulations to him on that. Also like to say congrats to our 3 new police officers tonight. I think they're going to be a great addition to the police force. Can't wait to see them on the road. Onto the calendar. So I know last meeting we had brought up potentially opening it up to the other 3 towns. And I know when we had spoke, we had a couple ads left, and I know that in the past week or 2 that we've had about 3 or 4 of the businesses commit. We're just waiting on some checks for them. So right now we have 1 half-size ad left and 5 full-size ads left. So I think we're going to get there. I think by next meeting we should pretty much have most of these ad spaces sold. So I don't think we'll have to go to other towns, but I think by the 26th for our next meeting, if we don't, we could always consider that, but I think we're going to be okay there. Yesterday, Domestic Violence Prevention Committee, we were at the farmers market. I'd like to thank Councilman Blitz for having us there. We had several people come over to the booth. It was a great day. I think we had about 3 or 4 people who actually gave their numbers that were interested in volunteering. So it was a really, really good day. I was happy with the response that we had gotten for residents wanting to volunteer, and even residents from other towns that even want to hop on the committee. So that was good. So I also want to thank the members that came out and volunteered yesterday. Other than that, Council President, that's all I have.
Thank you, Councilman Murphy. Would you like to comment on anything that was going on in the Peckman River that you? had a
Yeah,
meeting
so,
with?
yeah, also thanks to our business administrator and assistant business administrator. Vince said I came down with us at the DPW, we met with our DPW super, as well as the engineer, and we took a look at the river. Pretty much where we're at now is we're gonna be looking at some permitting that's gonna go on, see if we can clean these shores up. Engineer's gonna get back to us, kind of see what movement we have and kind of what the process may be on that.
Thank you. Councilman Vanchery.
Thanks, Council President. First, let me say congratulations to Anthony, Pat, and Steve on getting sworn in today as Class 2 officers. I know they have the graduation tomorrow night. As Councilman Murphy said, they're all 3 are great guys. We wish them nothing but the best. And, as Chief Paul alluded to as well, they can be our future officers. So we're looking forward to seeing what they can do. I also want to say congratulations to Deacon Joe. Kind of dating myself because I go back a long time with Deacon Joe from the days at St. Gerard's and when my brothers were at Don Bosco Tech. He was also on Hobson Ave at one point, right across the street from my uncle. And just he's someone that also did this. People forget that he was a councilman at one point. So Deacon Joe is a great person. He's been an asset to the community for a long time. And so I know he'll do well. He's someone that anytime he needs something, you can pick up the phone and call. Last week we had our 9/11 ceremony. Of course, I make the phone call to Deacon Joe, asking him to be involved. And he always says, yes, when do you need me? Where do I need to go? I'm there. So congratulations to him as well. As I just mentioned too, last week we had the 9/11 ceremony. Just want to say thank you to everybody who was involved making that happen. Of course, thank you to the Cordis family for being there as well. Despite the rain, people came out. It was the right thing to do to keep that ceremony on 9/11 to honor those that were lost, especially the 2 from Little Falls. So again, thank you for that. A big kudos to our DPW department, making the park look beautiful despite the weather, as they always do. So thank you to them as well. I got a bunch of other things I'm just going to go through. So tomorrow night at 7 p.m. here in the council chambers, the Little Falls Transportation Committee, as well as the Little Falls Police Department, led by Officer Panola with the Traffic Department, is hosting a safety workshop. We had talked about this a few times with our Transportation Committee, just bringing it back as we did this prior to COVID, just having residents come in, learn about what we're doing, learn about also what the police department is doing, because, it's always interesting when you see someone post anonymously on Facebook complaining about this, complaining about that, but they never do the right thing and reach out to the police department or ask questions. So here's your chance to come tomorrow. Like I told a few residents, look, if you have questions or you have something you want to complain about, you can do things online or you can come here and bring it. So I'm looking forward to having that conversation tomorrow with some of our residents. And we're going to look to do it again probably later this year, because we know there's a lot of things going on this week. There's the master plan, there's an LFAC meeting, there's football, soccer, cheer, you name it. But, we're looking to do more of this. It's a chance to hear from our residents. A couple other things that I'm pleased to talk about, and thank you, Mr. Cuccia and Mr. Quattrone as well. We're moving ahead with the bidding process of the traffic light. So that is finally getting to that next stage. Had a chance to talk to our engineer last week, and we're looking to bring forth some bids hopefully next month. We can get the ball rolling and bring that to the council, and then the project, fingers crossed, could be done potentially by April. So I'm looking forward to finally seeing that light up on Francisco and Cedar Grove Road. It's been a long journey, so I'm waiting for that to come together. Another thing too, I had a chance to talk to one of our engineers after discussing with the mayor. Residents on Houston, and we know that this has been a topic for a couple of years, had requested the possibility of installing speed humps on their road. So I talked to the engineer last week, and we just kind of went over the game plan like we did previously for Jacobus and Van Pelt, where the engineers will take a look at the street, map out potential landing spots for the humps, and then bring a map also for our discussion. Because what I'll do is next step, once we have some dates from the engineer, work with the mayor to send out a letter to all the residents on Houston so that we can go there with the engineers, members of the police department, and have the discussion like we've done previously with residents, because, you know, it's easy for everybody to say they want speed humps, but they usually don't want it in front of their house. So this is the perfect conversation that we'll have, and everyone can see, okay, a hump's going to go here, the next one's going to go here. And also there's a reminder for people too. You may not have a speed hump in front of your house, but you will have a sign potentially that says speed hump ahead. So just understanding how that works and explaining too, a lot of times with speed humps, when you install some, there is the recoil that you're going to hear some noise that people are going to have to get used to. So it's just, we're looking forward to having that conversation probably sometime next month, once the engineer does some of their due diligence that's required. But again, it's, you know, feedback from the residents. So looking forward to having those conversations. A couple other things that I have here that I just want to bring up, if you don't mind. I'm also working with the Passaic Valley Unico to coordinate as we get ready for October with Italian American Heritage Month, the annual flag raising. Right now, we're looking at Sunday, October 1st. Steve Pellerano is traveling. He's coming back this week. He's going to check with his members to see if October 1st still works and what time they're looking to do that. So I'll keep everybody posted on that for the flag raising ceremony. I also do want to mention last week at the rec department, a number of different sports kicked off, including travel softball, soccer for rec league, tennis for rec, as well as the Heroes in Training program led by Gary and Colleen Fernandez at own final round in town. So there's a lot going on with the athletes and the coaches. So wish them all well. And lastly, I just want to mention too real quick that Councilwoman Hablitz and I had a chance over the weekend to stop by Passaic Valley High School. They had their annual Live in a Hive program that the marching band puts on, where they have other marching bands from across the state come in for a competition. It's a well-oiled machine. It's a great program, seeing all the young kids out there. And keep in mind with Passaic Valley Marching Band, it's not just high school students. There's actually school 1, 7th, and 8th grade students that are on the band as well. So to see the kids starting that young, wanting to get involved is a good thing. That's it for me.
Thank you. Councilman Vittel, last meeting, our resident Norman Schweizer came in and was very complimentary to your efforts in your committee. He talked quite at length that he was really happy to work with you. So for the noted.
Thank you, Council President. I too want to congratulate the officers and Deacon Joe. I'm looking forward to seeing what they will bring to our township. I want to thank John Siegel, who's the health officer in Clifton. I met with him and his team, and they've just been so responsive. They've been great about brainstorming and actually coming up with ideas and events that we could bring directly to Little Falls to benefit the residents. I had a few residents reach out about vaccines, so I did discuss that with them. They are going to have a flu vaccination clinic Thursday, October 19th from 9 to 11. That's going to be at Clifton City Hall. They have one on Tuesday, October 24th from 3 to 5, again at Clifton City Hall. The one in Little Falls will be held here on the second floor on Monday, October 30th from 3 to 5 p.m. for any residents that want to get those. I'll put those on the calendar. As it pertains to COVID vaccines. So a few months ago, I had reported that we are no longer in a state of emergency, right? And because of that, the vaccines are no longer free. So the Clifton Board of Health isn't likely to be able to hold any COVID vaccination clinics. They really are encouraging everyone to go see their primary physician. However, if you don't have insurance or underinsured, then you could reach out to the health department. They might be able to get you those vaccinations. The Clifton Health Department will be at the Little Falls Library on September 28th from 5 to 7. The nurse will be there, so any questions that you have pertaining to vaccines, she's always great. She's happy to answer them. And then finally, Little Falls School 2 and 3 PTA are holding a used clothing drive this Saturday from 9 to 2, and residents can drop off any items that they have at the School 2 parking lot. That's all I have, Council President.
Thank you. I want to thank the council for sharing your personal schedules with me. We're our 5 members here, and we need 3 for a quorum. So I greatly appreciate that. If you can attend the meeting, I thank you for doing that in the past, and please continue to do that in the future. The next meeting is going to be on the 26th, not the 25th. The 25th is Yom Kippur, so we're moving our meeting to the 26th. The Harvest Moon Dinner Dance is going to be on Friday, October the 13th at 5:30 p.m. But a few people are signing up for that. And Chief, if a few of your crew could stop by that night while they're working, we appreciate it. That's October the 13th at the Civic Center.
Not for security.
No, not for security purposes. Usually we don't have problems with seniors, except when you don't give them butter and bread, and then it could be another issue. But other than that, or decaf coffee, shouldn't. But no, they're a great group of individuals, and we have a lot of fun. Tomorrow night we have a master plan coming up. Well, before I go into that, Mayor or Mr. Cordron, I'm on an email chain regarding filtration systems. Can one of you talk about that? Or
So what we're trying to do is ensure that all of our infiltration systems, all of our vents are in compliance with CDC guidelines to ensure not only the safety of the employees here in the township, but the safety of everyone who comes into our building. So at this point, we've dealt with Train, who is our does all of our servicing for all of our vents. And I have an email out to our health department asking him, showing him some of the things we've done as far as service to all of our venting systems. And he is currently reviewing it right now and will get back to me to ensure that we are in CDC compliance or to let us know what we need to do to ensure that compliance.
anybody have any questions regarding that? So the master plan is a very big undertaking. It's a great opportunity for our residents and those that even don't live in town to come in and see what's going to be taking place and to voice their opinion. There'll be a number of meetings to occur. But Mayor, can you fill in the residents and the council on where we're going?
Sure thing. Tomorrow evening, at the Little Falls Civic Center from 6 to 9 p.m. will be the first of 3 public input sessions for our Little Falls Township Master Plan. And I think it's important to note that the last full master plan that the township completed is over 2 decades ago. The last one was completed in 2002. There have been a couple of updates since 2016, 2021, and recently this year for a minor update to the master plan to get us through. But we anticipate that by mid-2024, we should have a new master plan completed. Now, a master plan cannot come together without ample public input. And the items that will be discussed are things such as land use, which is buildings and the types of buildings in various zones, transportation, parking, open space in our parks, sustainability, the economic development. And all of these things are things that we need to have public input on. So if you have any concerns about anything in town, the master plan in these sessions, which are going to be held, the first one again tomorrow evening, September 19th from 6 to 9 p.m., one on October 23rd from 6 to 9 p.m., and one on November 29th from 6 to 9 p.m., all at the Civic Center. Those are the real opportunities to be part of the planning process here in Little Falls. These are areas, again, and opportunities where spreading the word on these meetings is important. It's important to get as much public input as possible, because it is the public who will ultimately help decide in what type of zoning fits in specific parts of town. For example, prior zoning in downtown Little Falls permitted 3 full stories up to the street. Is that something that Little Falls wants to see continue happen or not? Is there other types of restrictions or density that the township residents would like to see in certain areas of town? Getting your input and getting the information from you is critical. Complaining on Facebook, sending emails, while all something that is visible, something that we see from time to time, the emails especially, being part of the master plan process, talking to the planners who are helping to develop and finalize and complete the master plan itself is critical. There's also a survey online that I encourage all residents to complete. I think we have about 250 responses thus far, a small number compared to the number of residents we have here in town. But I encourage all residents to complete that survey and complete it in as much of a realistic response way as possible. Don't write very short responses if you have a lot to say about something. I want everybody to take it serious because it will all help formulate what the ultimate master plan for Little Falls is moving forward. And that is something that residents are going to live by for the next handful of years here in town until another master plan is completed. Again, oftentimes about 10 years at a clip before master plans are performed and completed. So I encourage everybody to be part of the solution. And by doing so, you can again, or to do so, you can complete the survey online and attend all of or one of these 3 sessions. But we encourage people to continue to come to each of the meetings if possible, because this is a living document right now that is going to be evolving, that's going to be changing. So attending again tomorrow evening from 6 to 9 is important. And I want everybody to know it's not going to be a 3-hour long meeting. Don't plan on showing up at 6 and you're going to be there until 9. This is something where it will be sort of a walk in the door. We'll be starting at 6 o'clock with some information, but at that point, then everybody will be circulating through the room, stopping at our various stations that will cover all of the elements that I just previously addressed. So feel free to stop by as early as 6. And if you can't make it at 6, come at 7, come at 8. We will still be there to address all of these concerns. So again, I don't expect everybody that they don't need to be there at 6. Don't feel that you've missed the meeting if you can't be there at 6. So I encourage everybody to join us tomorrow. And again, for the other 2 dates that I've just addressed. So that is what we have happening tomorrow. This is again critical. And that's all. And for any residents who are looking for this information that might not have received it yet, it is on the township website at lfnj.com. There's a banner across the top to complete the survey. And all residents in their tax bills this year will also be receiving some information and a flyer about the master plan and community workshops. So again, please feel free to join us tomorrow evening. We look forward to your input.
Thank you, Mayor. Councilor Wenzel, do you have anything for this governing body this evening?
Not this time, Council President.
Thank you.
Council President, I have a question. With regards to the master plan meeting, so just a question, the way that the mayor has just described it is going to be workstations, tables where people can pick up informative information. So this is not going to be a town hall style, correct?
That's correct. And there's going to be professionals from our planning firm that are going to be hosting each one of these various tables throughout the Civic Center, who are going to be gathering resident input so that we can formulate it and turn it into what will ultimately become the master plan. There's only going to be a short information session in the beginning. So there will be plenty of public input, but it won't be in a mass group setting. It'll essentially be at smaller stations throughout the room addressing each one of those topics. So again, this is a way that we can sort of mass gather information without it being, with people able to have one-on-one time with the planners to provide their input so that we can formulate this master plan.
Thank you, Mayor.
Can I have a motion to open the meeting to public for agenda items?
So moved.
Moved by
Second,
Councilwoman Patel, second by Councilwoman Havelitz. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Mrs. Kraus.
Anyone wishing to address the Township Council may do so through the Council President. It is preferred if you give your name and address for the record. Comments are to be limited to 3 minutes. However, if appropriate, you may be granted additional time in the sole discretion of the Council President. Members of the public who have joined the meeting virtually and desire to provide comment shall raise their virtual hand in the Zoom application. The meeting moderator will cue the members of the public that wish to provide comment, and the Council President will recognize them in order. Members of the public who have joined the meeting by calling in must press *6 to mute and unmute themselves and *9 to raise their hand. Members of the public who have joined the meeting via the Zoom application must click the reactions icon and then the raise hand icon. Once the process is complete, we will return to the regular order of business.
Thank you. Mr. Kusia, anyone in Zoom? Anyone in our council chambers? Have a motion to close to the public.
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Murphy, second by Councilman Vanchery. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? I want to thank the staff for assisting in putting on this meeting this evening. Have a motion to adjourn this meeting.
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Vanchery,
Second.
second by Councilwoman Havelitz. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? This meeting is now closed.